please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Randy, if you could please silence your electronic devices, it would be appreciated. Good afternoon, everyone. Call the January 17, 2017 Village Board of Trustees meeting to order. Roll call, Mr. Hoffel. Mr. Carvel. Here. Mr. Deshays.
Here.
Mr. Levere.
Here.
I'm here. Entertain a motion for approval of meeting minutes for November 1st, 2016.
So moved.
Mr. Levere, second by Mr. Deshays. Discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Reports of officers and committees. The Treasurer's report. Ms. Charlotte.
I have provided each of you with the balance sheet and revenue and expense to budget comparison reports for the month of December. A summary of the 5 major funds is shown on your report. Year-end projections have been updated with actual figures through December 2016 and have been distributed to department managers as well as the board. We are currently in the process of completing quarterly and calendar year-end reporting. W-2s will be completed and distributed to employees by the end of January. 1099 miscellaneous reports are being calculated and will be printed, mailed, and filed with the federal government by the end of the month. Our annual share of the NICO relicensing funds in the amount of $22,000 was received from the St. Lawrence County Treasurer on January 4th. And Carl Seyfarth of Seyfarth and Seyfarth CPAs will meet with the mayor and I this coming Friday to review the draft audit of our financial statements for fiscal year ending 5/31/16. Draft copies of the audit will be distributed to the board once available, and Mr. Seyfarth will return to present the audit at our February 7th board meeting. I have 2 action items this evening. The first one is a bankruptcy discharge of debt. Pursuant to a discharge of debtor notice received from the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Northern District of New York pertaining to the water sewer refuse account ending in 4200, it has been determined that a total debt of $327.26 be discharged. A motion is required by the board to do so.
Move. Mr. Levere.
Second.
Second by Mr. Hoffel. Discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And lastly, further down on the agenda, under new business, letter A, there will be a resolution to adopt the annual correcting and refunding of erroneous taxes. This is an annual resolution. It's recommended by the county director of real property taxes. And what it does, it enables the village to deal with any erroneous assessments or taxes levied that the change results in an amount less than $2,500. So we'll get down to that a little bit further. That's all I got.
Questions from Ms. Charlotte? Thank you. Committee reports, code enforcement, Mr. Carvel, Mr. Levere.
I don't have anything. We do have some previously discussed code changes that we haven't formally put in, so I'll be passing those along again probably next meeting.
Just started the 2017 fire inspection cycle and apartment inspection. We got a handful of them that need to be taken care of in the next couple of months, so we're getting on top of that right away.
The landlord from, is it 101 East Service, the fire?
Yes, sir.
Came to see me today. Kind of the same story that he gave you guys.
Okay.
Dealing with his insurance company and then plans to tear that down sometime during the summer. So this is a burned out property on East Lower Street.
Outstanding. Thank you for that information.
Economic Development, Mr. Hoffel, Mr. Levere. Fire Committee, Mr. Carvel, Mr. Levere. Personnel Committee, Mr. Carvel, Mr. Deshays.
Nothing at this time.
Police Committee, Mr. Carvel, Mr. Deshays.
Nothing at this time. That's the chief. That's something.
Recreation Commission, Mr. Deshays.
Had rock and roll, rock and skate, they call it down the arena. They used to do it down the other arena, down the other mall. And he started up, they had 2 sessions, and pretty well attended. There's 75 people at both things, and he's going to continue it. Didn't give any specific date, but they holiday skates, for sponsors paid for the skating and the rental of skates during the holiday, which made it very nice for, kept the kids occupied and busy. The budget committee and nominating committees were elected, nominated. The youth soccer equipment is being kept at the field house at Alcoa Field. And boys and girls hockey games are being advertised on French's sign on the 4-lane highway. You can see whenever they're playing hockey, there's going to be on the sign. We agreed. Massena Mike Shootout, it's going to be February the 4th. We've got 24 teams signed up for that. What that is the ages of kids playing from 6, 7, and 8 years old. Something, they come from all over the place. They've got quite a turnout for it. Dave McClendon was reappointed as the chairman of the committee, Recreation Committee. Mike McCabe has passed the civil service test. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Street Committee, Mr. Offeld, Mr. Levere. Did we make any progress on that streetlight request on Barnhart, or is that still pending? Water and Sewer Committee, Mr. Offeld, Mr. Levere. Initial public comment period. As always, we ask you to please stand and state your name for the record. Initial public comment period. Seeing no hands, moving on. Old business. Accept the resignation of Ken McGowan, fire driver foreman, retroactive and effective January 2, 2017. Mr. Offeld.
Second.
Second by Mr. Levere. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. New business, proposed resolution, correct and refunding of erroneous taxes.
Second.
Mr. Offeld, second by Mr. Carville. Discussion. Resolution poll individually, Mr. Offeld.
Aye.
Mr. Carville. Mr. DeShays.
Aye.
Mr. Levere.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Proposed resolution, approved community center tenant lease with Massena Drug-Free Community Coalition. As you know, this is the space that was previously occupied by Workforce Development. It is no longer in there, so this will be a great opportunity for the Drug-Free Coalition to have a presence within the community, allowing people to go to that office during business hours and get some assistance and direction.
So
Mr. Levere, second by Mr. Offeld. Discussion. Resolution poll individually, Mr. Offeld. Mr. Carville. Mr. DeShays.
Aye.
Mr. Levere.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Proposed resolution to accept and authorize easements across lands owned by William and Kimberly Brown. Mr. Levere.
Second.
Second by Mr. Offeld. Discussion. Resolution poll individually, Mr. Offeld.
Aye.
Mr. Carville. Mr. DeShays.
Aye.
Mr. Levere.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Proposed resolution authorizing a professional service agreement with P&A Group for administration of COBRA. They have handled our COBRA for some time. The contract used to be with First Niagara when we had the different insurance companies, so now we have to contract with them directly, so this will be a smooth transition in dealing with our COBRAs.
So
Mr. Levere, second by Mr. DeShays. Discussion. Resolution poll individually, Mr. Offeld.
Aye.
Mr. Carville. Mr. DeShays.
Aye.
Mr. Levere.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Accept resignation of Linda Dumont, Housing Rehab Secretary, effective January 12, 2017. Mr. Offeld.
Second.
Second by Mr. Levere. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Authorized to interview firefighter driver. Mr. Levere.
Second.
Second by Mr. Offeld. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'm sorry, you're a no? Mr. Carl's a no. Accept retirement. Terry Musa, motor equipment operator, effective 1/31/2017.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Offal, second by Mr. Levere. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Authorized to canvass for motor equipment operator.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Levere, second by Mr. Offal. Discussion.
We're gonna have a pretty tough budget year coming up. With increases in health insurance and everything else that's going on, and our
2017-2018 budgets are due in 2 weeks, so we'll start to have a better picture of the budget picture once those start to roll in.
They're going to start to roll in 2 weeks.
Yes, beginning of February.
I have no problem waiting 2 weeks, but I'm really fearful of winter, if and when it finally does hit. We saw a few weeks ago when we were down one person, the roads were clearly not as excellent as they normally are, so I'm a little concerned, once he's gone, if we're down, what the impact could be.
Yeah, this individual's also paid 90% out of the water fund, not the general fund. When he works, on snow plowing, that's when he's paid out of the general fund, which, again, has the impact on the tax.
Sure.
Further discussion? A motion to authorize canvas in a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Voucher warrants.
I move that the vouchers signed by trustee Carvel and myself be approved.
Second by Mr. Carvel. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Monthly reports of the volunteer fire departments for December 2016. Communications and correspondence. All I have is that the first meeting next week for the power proceeds allocation board is happening, so gubernatorial appointments are done, that board is in place, and the first meeting is next week. I've been invited to it, so I plan to attend, mostly a formality and adopting a number of things to put them in place, but, so that's a good sign. We're waiting for this for a couple of years. Anything else from the trustees? Closing public comment period. As always, again, we ask you to please stand, state your name for the record. Mr. Gray, we've missed you. You're not going to speak?
Don't pull a tiger's tail.
Media, any questions?
Does the drug-free coalition pay to lease the space in the?
They will not be paying that. It's worked out because of the service they're providing for the community. The village and town boards felt it was appropriate to give them that space.
And the organization that was in there before, what was their full name? Was it Workforce Development Coalition or?
Workforce development was in there.
Just Workforce Development?
That's correct.
All right, thank you, that's it.
We do need an executive session to discuss contracts, collective bargaining, and a personnel issue. I do not anticipate we will take action.
So,
Mr. Rothfeld.
Second.
Second by Mr. Levier. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you everyone for being here. We will open the first public comment period. Does everybody know the rules? I'm not going to redo them. If you don't know them, then you know. Any public comment? I see none. Let's move on. We apparently are not going to have an MMH update. I don't see Mr. Oliver. First one's here. There it is. Next up, we have an update regarding the town's disadvantaged business enterprise policy. We've had one in place for a while, this DBE. It's a requirement of the state and federal government, it was initially prepared by CNS companies for us at the airport. It needed to be updated. They provided an update, and I'm really just looking for your approval to sign it, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Abstention, motion carries.
I just wanted, we just got that yesterday, right?
Yeah,
It's 84 pages, I really didn't get a chance to read it, so I abstained.
I don't think there's any major changes in it. It's been in place for a while. And I think the requirement, the update was requested or demanded of us, I'm not sure which, so I don't think we really had a.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother voting on it, 'cause I haven't had time to really review it.
Okay, abstentions, we have one abstention. Okay, resolution to accept the minutes from December 21st of 2016.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, we have a second. All those in favor signify, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Abstention, motion carries. Resolution to accept the annual reports for the year of 2016 from the town clerk, the receiver of taxes, and from the justice office. Do we have a motion to that effect? Do we have one? Oh, we have a motion, I think there's a motion, I'm sorry, second?
Oh, no, we didn't get a
No,
motion.
okay, so, they're looking at, I'm sorry.
Look at the,
Okay.
can we do this for a motion?
I already did.
Motion.
Did you make a motion already?
I did.
Okay, we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any further deliberation needed? Time to read. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Abstention, motion carries. Next up is a resolution to accept and sign the corrected 2017 salary schedule. Remember, there was some discussion last month about the salary schedule we had in front of us. Couple questions. Has that been, everybody been clear, is everybody clear on that now?
Joe, I just had, Jim, Beckstead, and Matt listed at their old 2016 rate,
Okay,
so I just had to adjust that.
okay, just those two corrections? Okay. Any motion to accept those corrections?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Abstention, motion carries. A resolution to accept and sign a life flight contract in the amount of $3,000 for 2017. If you remember, this came up at the organizational meeting. There was questions about why we were giving life flight money, or we had a contract for a dollar amount. Tom, you had some questions about that. I think you've got some answers.
I did some homework on that, and I did get some answers. The light flight is the one for the New York State Troopers, and there is no cost, so for the contract of $3,000, I make a motion that we move with this contract, because obviously if our patients if they use the service and aren't getting charged for it, it's a good service provided to the people of Massena, or the people that use this life flight service. So I make a motion, we sign the contract.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
Is this, what did we pay last year?
It's the same amount. It hasn't changed at all. The point, sticking point was whether they billed for their services. I think that was Tom's concern, and they do not. There is another service that does. That's not this one. So.
Well, how is it determined which one's called?
If the time, my understanding is the Massena Memorial Hospital uses this service first. And if the availability, obviously sometimes they're busy, the availability is there to use it, they bring them in and they use it, because then there's no charge to them. Obviously, if they're busy with other issues, you gotta go to the next person, but.
And I think the other service does similar. They would bill your insurance if you have it. I don't know what happens if you don't have insurance, but the cost is to the individual, not to the town. So I think that's why this one, Life Flight makes sense, because we're giving them a set amount, $3,000, which isn't, in the bigger scheme of things, isn't a whole lot of money, and nobody gets a bill, if they're available. And usually they are, I think, but not always.
According to what I found out, that a lot of local municipalities do this same contract.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Abstention, motion carries. We have some budget transfers and some bills. Let's do the bills first. You have the one in front of you. $419,950.44 for bills thus far this month and some from last month probably. And we can't do that for this month.
And you also have that second one.
Yeah,
and
I
also-
Oh, okay.
That's not in your packet.
Oh, for the winter, okay, all right.
The warrant one and warrant one A.
Warrant one A, which is $1,000 for the winter chill. Okay, is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
What is that one for winter till?
It's from winter chill monies.
Oh, that's not our money, it's the,
No, and it's to
Okay.
pay,
Mark Bogdan
okay.
for the accounting work that he did last year. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Abstention, motion carries. You have some budget amendments, right? Or do, where are they?
cash transfers.
How many transfers, yeah, that's what I have to
So
say.
there,
Here we go.
last page.
We're transferring, a little over $5,800 from, Town of Massena Rescue Squad billing, to Town of Massena General Fund to cover their expenses. Transfer $3,000 from the Town of Massena Rescue Squad building again to, the general fund, again to cover expenses at the rescue squad. Third one is for $151,147, from rescue squad building to the general fund. I assume those are lease payments probably?
That actually was for, I did that back in October, but forgot to list it.
Okay,
It was for the second and third quarter expenses,
okay.
2016,
All right.
but I just wanted to make note of it.
Those 16, third and fourth quarter,
Yeah, second and third, we still have to
second
do
and
it.
third, right,
Mhm.
okay. And then transfer, to reimburse Town of Massena General Fund, that's what's right there, for second, and third, okay. And create due to and due from, general fund, HLL fund taxiway through the airport project, rehab lighting design, the amount of $100 is to set up the account for that project. I need a motion to, do those, budget, those transfers and, create the due to and due from. Motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Abstentions, motion carries. Okay, yeah, financial reports. Is that it? Really?
Yeah.
Do we, geez. Any
I
committee
don't know
reports?
I'm a little woozy here.
Do we have, any committee reports?
Yes, we do.
All right,
Airport, I just wanna let everybody know that on 116, we collected our first landing and ramp fee. And then, today, we collected our first landing and ramp fee from UPS. So as the planes are coming in, we're starting to charge them.
and UPS couldn't land where they normally land, is that
No,
it?
that's right, they couldn't, because of the weather, they couldn't fly in the Potsdam, so they come here.
I don't wanna mention the name, but, okay.
Okay, well, I did.
You're honest.
So,
Oh, that's interesting, okay, so UPS paid the fee too, all right,
Right,
good.
at the highway department, December, busy month. We worked 341 hours of overtime. We were out 16 times that month. January so far, we've worked 162 hours of overtime, and we've been out 10 times. Same period last year, 2016, we had worked 303 hours of overtime. 2017, we've worked 587 hours of overtime.
Hey,
So,
how we doing the budget for that stuff?
I mean, there's, obviously, it's the beginning of the year, there's a lot.
Oh, there's a bunch left over, right, so,
No, I think,
He went over a very slight amount
Yeah.
of snow,
no.
and all his other, he has no other overdrawn.
I knew we were gonna go
items.
over, so the overtime was gonna put us over.
It's only like $900 right now.
I knew we were gonna go over.
okay.
But as far as this year, obviously, it's the first month, so I mean, there's right now, there's we're sitting pretty.
Oh,
good.
yeah, sure, sure.
So, a lot of ice this year, a lot of ice.
More this morning.
15-day forecast, extended, very, very mild.
Yeah. But they're showing freezing rain for Massena on Monday.
Yeah.
Mild weather.
Well, Valley,
You get the rain.
it takes longer for us to warm up, you know, and stuff, so.
Okay, anything different from the rescue squad? Actually, we just met with them, I don't think there's anything else, is there anything else to add there?
No.
Okay. Hospital, the meeting is next Monday, monthly meeting. I have, no new information that anyone share with me, so.
Paid off.
They just had,
Yeah, that is new, that's right. They just paid off, over $4 million in debt, the hospital had incurred over the years. This is again part of the transition that they're going through to move to private, not-for-profit status. So they're able to, the grant they secured from the state provided, they secured whatever, the grant from the state paid off, over $4 million in debt. There's still a little bit of debt there for, vehicle leases, as Nancy pointed out. That was, I think, good news to me that debt is gone, so.
Joe, I got New York State Highway trying to get ahold of me,
Okay,
but also I need to talk about a contractual and personnel issue after.
okay, executive session, okay, good, all right.
I had a question, I've questioned it before about the hospital board. I believe the bylaws call for the majority of the board that live within the town of Massena. And up to most recently, it was a 50-50 split, but it should have been majority of Massena. Now, it's a majority outside of Massena. So there's 5 that live in the town of Massena, and 6 that live outside the town of Massena.
Okay.
It's a concern to me, especially if, I think that the board members need to look out for the best interests of the town of Massena as well, if there is a transition.
And it's a good point, and I think I would add that certainly anyone that is appointed, that is their overriding concern, is to look out for the best interests of the hospital, and then of course the town after that. And I think as we move forward with some of this transition, some of those changes are gonna alleviate some of the pressure on the town of Massena, which I'm in favor of. But point taken, I know a couple of the appointments live just over the town line in the town of Louisville, live in the village of Massena, that,
I agree, at least one of them is a large property owner in the town of Massena.
Right,
Some don't have any property in Massena at all.
that's right,
But
Yep.
the bylaws, I believe, say that they'll live in the town of Massena.
okay, duly noted. I'll do what I can to correct that. MED, anything there?
and that, yeah.
Okay. Anything new with the library? We are, I can just add, maybe the liaison's good too. I don't know if you're getting the latest on the lift. That project is proceeding. We have a signed contract now with, we don't have the signed contract yet. But we're still waiting on the narrative. That's right. All right. So we're one step closer to having the signed contract with the Dormitory Authority to fund that project. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we'll have that back and we'll be moving forward with that project.
But we have to pay for it and get and do it. So is this that we don't have a contract with the dormitory?
Right, so we can't really start any work until we have the signed contract. And there were a couple more hoops we had to jump through, and we're in the process of jumping through those hoops.
The other thing was a news article on the capability of transferring movies to digital format, and they've been, had an abundant amount of calls to the library asking about that service, so I think it's going to be a pretty...
That's going to be a very good
Very good hit, definitely. Like Elaine says, they're evolving and changing things with the business center and that service as well. What was one of the other things? I asked her about the job description, so we're going to work on those. So
How did you transition into that?
Thanks a lot, Al.
I had nothing to do with it.
I know, but
Not that I wouldn't have.
you're showing too much joy here.
I missed the story, so they can transfer like VHS tapes to digital?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Huh? I mean, I got a few off to send
It's
over.
gonna be a very popular.
Well, you'll be doing it yourself, but I don't know, maybe there'll be some entrepreneurs that, you know, after things kind of fizzle out, they'll be able to go in and do whatever, I don't
Oh,
know.
they have the equipment to do
They'll
it.
have a little training thing and you'll be able to go in and do it.
I see, okay.
So,
All
it's,
right. Okay, good. All right. Museum. Anything new there?
There's a new gift agreement, I think, did you get that checked out? Don't know, you can talk about that.
Well, they just updated the donor agreement that they have to sign, just to ensure that everybody is aware of what they're doing and
Okay.
how they're, some of the concerns in the past have been that people have tried to retrieve items that they had donated.
Right.
So they cleared that up. And not only that, but now it's readable, whereas before we've been copied so many times that.
Well, there was some controversy when stuff went to auction too, that there, all this nice stuff that people donated. Well, it was quite clear, and there was an announcement made that that becomes the property of the museum for them to do as they see fit with it. So, that concern was, I think, somewhat misplaced if you were familiar with the donation agreement. And the fact that they've redone that and solidified that, I think is even better.
And I did ask our town attorney to review it, and I said if there were any problems, get a hold of him. And he has gotten a hold of me, so
Okay.
must be fine.
The other, couple items is we have storage for the nurses, we need it. And we also need to look at, a storage building, maybe on that back spot where the Connex was, maybe.
Well, we asked the board to form a subcommittee to look at possible solutions to their storage
Okay.
issues, because if we ever get there's still material over at the
Yes.
200 East Orton Street.
As well as the chamber.
Has there been any more thought to bringing some of that stuff into display? In other words, to add to the displays in the building?
The plan is to have that, you know, some of the stuff in storage and rotate it, so it's a fresh
Okay.
display at every time.
I like that even better. Okay, good. Recreation.
A lot of it's been in the paper, revenues are up at the present time. Unfortunately, because of weather, the hockey tournament, the Mark Tile tournament had to be canceled. And they're gonna try and pick up extra games in February to make up for the ones that were lost. Somebody asked, I don't know who, somebody asked about the marquee. It's in the building, and they're going to bring it online in the spring. And in the interim period, Frenchie's posting rec information on his marquee at the old Frenchie's Select.
Okay.
So
What's
that's-
been the delay on that?
There were a couple of things, I didn't write them down, but
Okay.
they're just a couple of things.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, BBC.
I really don't have anything, maybe tomorrow.
Okay. Chamber of Commerce, not a lot there. They're doing more and more online as far as the board of directors is concerned. Tomorrow is the annual luncheon.
Yep.
And that will be held at the chamber. It's gonna be done in their building. It's gonna be catered in. Should be good. It's always an interesting event where they kind of set some goals and have some discussion about some things. And so I look forward to that event. I'll be there tomorrow. And, I might have paid for yours too, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so you got a ticket too. All right. That's all I have.
Sweet, what time is that?
Noon.
Noon?
Yep, it's new.
Sweet.
I really don't have a whole lot else to report to the supervisor, that I can think of. No? Anything from the councilman? Holy cow, this might be a
Can we
record.
just sit here for another half hour?
No,
Just make
no,
it go normal.
we need a
Maybe
motion,
an hour or two.
we need a motion to go into executive session on a potential, real property, transfer, and then also, Frank has a contract issue he wants to discuss, so we need a motion to go into executive session.
So, second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, abstention. Public comment period. Anybody have any comments or questions?
There's no public here.
There's one.
Joe?
One.
And you got media, you know.
One
so,
media.
I guess.
Are
All
you
right.
expecting any action after the executive session?
No, I don't anticipate any, Joe.
Good question, though.
Yeah.
It's not as dumb as I look.
For the,